Dude, this music is banging, dude. Whoever's in the studio is just shredding on this guitar. Yo, what up? It's your boy, and we back. Ooh, and then it oh, wait, is this part? Is that guitar like solo? I guess then part of like the main theme. Damn, dude. Fucking shredding on that guitar. Anyways, let's examine this dead body. The upper half of the body got set on fire in the explosion, so it's totally blackened. Also, the top half of the body is wet, because I pissed on it. That's because it got set on fire and I threw water on it. Since I only threw water on part of the part that was on fire, on the top part, the bottom half is still dry. In other words, there's nothing strange about the top half being wet. There isn't, right? Well, now you make me feel like there he is. The white jacket the victim was wearing is totally burnt up. There's only one little piece left. The lower half of the body didn't get wet at all. After the body blew away, the top half was set on fire, so I dumped a bucket of water on it. Which explains why the bottom half isn't wet. There's nothing strange about that, right? Huh? There's something weird about the body's fingernails. Oh. These are fake nails. They're really long. They seem like they'd get in the way of normal activity. There's also something on the back of her right hand. Is that a tattoo? It got burnt, so I can't make out the whole thing, but it looks like a picture of a dog or something. I've never seen anything like it before. These look like fragments or something. They're all burnt, so I can't really be sure, but I feel like I've seen something like it before. But where? Wait, was it there? I have to double check on that later. From where though? There's a knife laying on the ground. Is this... It must be the knife that was stuck in the body before it exploded. The force of the explosion must have thrown it over here. Monokuma file said the knife went all the way through the body from front to back. Does that mean this knife is what caused the fatal injury? Either way, this knife, it looks really familiar. Wait, is this... That's it! It's the knife the person was holding. This is getting really weird. There are just too many coincidences. Whoever the person in the mask was that attacked me last night, they were holding that knife. And the same knife used to stab that same masked attacker we found here. So maybe this masked person got stabbed because when they attacked, I was in a kind of trance. Maybe I reacted and grabbed the knife, and maybe then and if this really is Kyoko, it would mean Kyoko is the one who attacked me. But why the mask? I just don't know. I don't remember anything clearly from last night. No, it can't be. There's no way. Knife for the crime scene. Over here. I remember there was some chickens in the chicken coop. I count 4 chickens. Huh? 4? Or 6,
Yo.
right? What's going on, Makoto? Oh, I'm glad I found you here. Listen, do you remember how many chickens there were in here? Of course, there were precisely 5. Yeah, right? Huh? What's wrong? There's only 4 chickens here now. We're short one. Huh? Huh? That's so weird. I wonder when it disappeared. I was down here just before midnight last night, and there were definitely 5 chickens in there.
What?
What are we gonna do? Going from 5 to 4 is gonna have the impact on the structure of the world.
Conspiracy!
It's just like a jigsaw puzzle. Even if a single piece disappears, the entire world will remain unfinished. I did my best to ignore Hiro and focus on the problem at hand. Why did one of the chickens disappear? Could it be related to the case? Oh, tool shed. What about you? Just to be sure, I should take a look inside the tool shed. This room is dusty and disorganized. In other words, a stereotypical tool shed. Is this a tarp? Wait, was there a tarp in here before? I should probably look into that. It could be related to the case. Yeah, I don't think there was a tarp in here before. Tarp is wet, covered with mud and grime. But the underside, it's totally clean and completely dry. One side of the tarp is wet and dirty. Something about that bothers me. That's one thing in here that concerns me. Alright, let's start talking to people. It's 11 o'clock right now. Okay, and?
You're serious?
Oh, well, I was just thinking about when we first found the body. When the body was found, huh? I should look back at what I did this morning to help me remember what that was. Monokuma's announcement woke me up at 7 o'clock, and as usual, I headed for the dining hall pretty soon. Once I got there, I met up with Hina. That was right around 7:30. Then I headed to the gym, where everyone else was waiting. Next, Toko went to get the pickaxe, and that's when she found the body. What time was it then? Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, we left the gym, and it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. That's right. It had to have been right around 9 o'clock.
You know?
Now that you mention it, I think you're right. So, I think you could say for sure that the body was found at 9 a.m. Okay, my job's done. It's a pretty small job. When the body was found. What about you? Good timing, Makoto. I wanted to talk to you. What do you want to talk about?
So, in other words...
I'd like to hear your alibi. Alibi?
In other words...
Correct. I'd love to hear where you were after nighttime beginning last night. Well, I was sick, so I was asleep all night. But why are you asking me about that now? And what's nighttime got to do with it?
Naturally.
Isn't it obvious? This murder took place after nighttime. How can you be sure of that? Because just after nighttime began, I came to the garden. I was going around looking for everyone, so I could tell them about Monokuma. Hiro was spending most of his time in the garden the last few days, so I figured he'd be here. And I can confirm that when I arrived last night, there was no body.
In other words...
So, the murder could have only taken place at some point during nighttime, after I left the garden. However, Toko, Hiro, Hina, and I were in the gym together the entire night last night. What? Once I found Hiro in the garden, Rudy and me went to Toko and Hina's rooms to get them. At that point, we all went to the gym and began dismantling Monokuma. As a precaution, we made sure not to go anywhere alone. When we even went to the bathroom in pairs. In other words, all 4 of us have airtight alibis. The only ones who don't have alibis are me and Kyoko.
That's right.
And if the victim really is Kyoko, then I'm the only one without an alibi. Also, when we went to go get Hina and Toko, we stopped by your room as well.
What?
But you never came to the door. So where precisely were you? I'm telling you the truth. I was in my room. But I was dead asleep. I had a fever, so... That's hardly an alibi. I know. So, what now? You seem to be at quite the disadvantage here. I'm the only one without an alibi. That's really bad, isn't it? Oh, okay. So who does this body belong to? Whoever it is, I'm not gonna look. I don't want to faint anymore. Listen, Makoto, do you remember how the body looked, you know, before it blew up? If I remember right, it was wearing some kind of mask and had a big white coat. There was also a knife sticking out of the stomach, and the area around it was stained with blood. Apparently the wound had stopped bleeding, but the blood on the body was still wet. Byakuya said not to touch it to avoid getting all bloody. But for how much blood there was on the body, I didn't see any on the ground around it.
Okay.
Wow, thanks. That was a big help. Now that you explained it, I totally remember how it looked. Well, having to talk about it like that helped me remember it. Oh, wait, sorry. Well, having to talk about it like that helped me remember it a lot better, too. So, thank you, too. Interesting. Yeah, because if you get stabbed in the gut, there's going to be a decent amount of blood where the dead body is. So, the body was moved, probably with the tarp. Huh. Oh, what did I miss? Is it the red box? This is the panel that controls the sprinklers. They're set to turn on at 7:30 every morning. Monokuma said the time positively couldn't be changed. Huh? Hold on. So the sprinklers turn on at 7:30 each morning, right? Then if the body was here before then, the sprinklers should have gotten it wet. Which would mean the murder must have taken place after 7:30. I think I've checked everything I need to in this area, but I'm not done yet. There are other areas I need to check. Specifically the fragment I found before. There's somewhere I need to go in order to confirm my suspicion. And I still need to find out more about Kyoko. Is this corpse really Kyoko? If that's true, was that also Kyoko who attacked me last night? If I can find out more about her, maybe I can answer that question. Kyoko was never the kind of person to talk about herself all that much. Maybe if I can get into her room, I'll be able to find out more. But the key to her room...
It's all clear now.
I will simply limit your options. I can't allow you to engage in any further suspicious activity.
What?
Limit my options.
Just give up.
Give me the key to your room. I don't have a choice. I have to see if he'll let me borrow her room key. Oh shit, no, I don't want to go back to the shed. I want to talk to Byakuya. There we go. Hey, Byakuya? If you don't come up with an alibi, if you do come up with an alibi, I'd be happy to hear it later at the class trial. Oh no, it's not about that. You have the key to Kyoko's room, right? I was hoping I could borrow it? I'm afraid I can't take that risk. You're the prime suspect after all. Of course, if I were to go with you, that would be a different story. Then, will you go with me? Sorry, I have my own agenda to take care of. Find me again later and we'll see.
Goodbye.
Depending on my mood, I may go with you, or I may not. Come back later, huh? Okay, then in the meantime, I should look around somewhere else. Maybe I should check out that one area. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Let me, Can't like zoom in. I don't know what I'm. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at here. Oh. Okay, well, let's go to the gym then. That was apparently a place of interest. Monokuma's laying dismantled on the floor, but I figured it wouldn't be here.
You know?
I just found something. What is this? It's...
Huh?
It's what? A bomb. There's one installed in every Monokuma robot, I'm sure.
What?
Bomb? And that bomb went missing. There's no doubt about it. The fragments I found in the garden. Okay. I've checked everything I can think of, all but Kyoko's room. I should head back to the garden and ask Byakuya. Wait, so it was part of the bomb? Is that what he was saying? I don't see it. Maybe I'm just stupid, but... Okay, well, let's go back to the garden. I mean, like, I like how I'm the prime suspect, but they're all just staying in that one room, not investigating anything really, and... I mean, I guess if I'm the suspect, I want to find as much proof that I'm innocent, but, like, they're not finding any proof that I'm guilty. And they're letting me roam around the school, letting me do whatever the fuck I want. You think you can go soon, Byakuya?
Let's go.
You wanted to check out Kyoko's room, right? Very well, let's go. Ah, wait for me. Byakuya walked off without a second glance. I hurried after him on our way to the dorms. Well then, here we go. Byakuya took out the key and slid it into the keyhole, and then... and it's open. Looks like it. Thanks. So, this is Kyoko's room. There's something on the table. It's a wood-block decoration?
What?
What's that? What purpose does it serve? I think it's probably a key. The lockers at those really traditional public bathhouses use them for their lockers. I wouldn't know. I've never gone to a public bathhouse. Doesn't really surprise me. It's hard to picture Byakuya doing something like that.
It's certainly possible.
But if it is a key, I think I might know what it unlocks. Really? What? Unless I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure I saw something in the dojo that this might go to. The dojo? Yeah, dude. Okay. I guess the only thing I can examine is this. Here's your bed. I don't see anything interesting here. At least not as far as the case is concerned. Oh, okay. And here's the bathroom. She might have some certain articles of clothing laying in there, but I'll check it out. Okay, yeah, I guess that's all I can fucking look at. Hey, I think it would be wise to look around a bit more. What?
What?
You wanted to come here, right? So what is it you're looking for? Nothing in particular. I just thought we might find some kind of clue here. A clue that might help us understand Kyoko.
Come on.
You can't be serious. That's why you made me take time out of my search to come here? Sorry. Regardless, if you plan on poking around at random, you're doomed no matter how much time you take. Surely you have something more concrete, something to give us some sort of direction here. More concrete. Oh, I know. Earlier, Kyoko gave me something. Huh? What's this?
It's true.
Consider it a symbol of my determination. Don't open it yet. Only open it if something ever happens to me. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. I found it. What's in the envelope? Kyoko gave it to me. He said if something ever happened, I should open it. Well,
Interesting.
something certainly has happened, so open it. Okay. I opened the envelope and looked inside. Inside was a single piece of paper. Under the sheets.
What?
That's all it was. That's all there was in there? Yeah, it looks like it. Under the sheets. What could it be? They're fucking bed sheets, yo. But could something be hidden under the bed sheets? Part of me didn't expect to find anything, but as I lifted up the sheets... What's this? I found a crumpled up piece of paper. Class number 78, student registry. Murukuro Ikusaba.
I see.
It appears to be Murako Ikusaba's profile. Yeah, looks like it. That's probably the other thing Kyoko stole when she snuck into the headmaster's room along with the key. God, you're annoying. Fine, I'll tell you. It's a key and blank. That's it. This must be the blank that Monokuma was talking about. Kyoko said a death without meaning was unappalling. Is this what she left behind? I don't have time for your sentimental indulgences. Hurry up and finish your search. Okay. I made an effort to pull myself together, then looked down at the profile sheet. Murako Ikusaba, female, the ultimate soldier. Although small for her age, she was a military specialist trained in every weapon type imaginable. She showed an interest in the military from childhood, and soon found herself completely absorbed in it. In elementary school, she won a survival game tournament, and began writing for military magazines. Just before entering middle school, while she and her family were on vacation in Europe, she disappeared. The story of a young Japanese girl being kidnapped quickly took over the Japanese media outlets. An intense international investigation turned up no information. She was never found. However, she reappeared in Japan 3 years later, alone and completely unannounced. She revealed that she had joined a mercenary group known as the Friendlier. For those 3 years, she insisted that she hadn't been kidnapped, that she'd received battle training of her own volition. However, she never revealed why she decided to return home when she did. The Ultimate Soldier, a mercenary group. This doesn't feel real. The world I grew up in, it's like a completely different dimension. It's like one's non-fiction and the other is sci-fi. There's no way to even compare the two. That's how different this is. That's how I saw things. That was how I saw things as just an ordinary person. But then
I see.
I never imagined I'd hear the name Furner in a place like this. Huh? You recognize it?
Naturally.
Furner Mercenary Corps is a collection of battle-crazed warmongers. But they do have their uses. And they always get the job done. That's worth remembering. This is all part of a world totally removed from the one I live in. I have to say, I'm intrigued. Even every rumor I've heard says that the Furner has already...
Found it!
Whoa! I feel like our hero is becoming a bit is becoming a bit player, and a bit player is becoming our hero. Huh? It's you.
What?
Huh? What have you got in your pretty little hand there?
What?
Oh, you found her profile? So, what if we did?
Hey, come on
Don't
now.
freak me out! I'm not gonna hold it against you or anything. And in case you were wondering, I don't hold it against Kyoko either, even though she stole it and hid it. After all, there's no rule against stealing, is there? But who I can't forgive is Miss Ogami, who broke the rules and busted into the headmaster's room. Maybe I'll drag her corpse out here and slice it up and devour it. Bears are omnivores, you know.
What?
Are rule violations really so unforgivable? You're quite adamant about those regulations of yours. Of course I am. A proper school life is built on the dedication to organization and order. Which is why even I, as the school's headmaster, have to follow the regulations myself. Oh, so you're saying you have to follow your own rules as well?
Of course.
Absolutely. I can't have you complaining about how unfair it all is, now can I? In fact, on the subject of fairness, would you like to know something interesting? Interesting. It's about the one writing all the rules. They're actually one of the participants in this killing game. I don't think I ever told you how many participants there actually were, did I? I was thinking I should probably clarify that.
Hey,
When you all first got together in the main hallway, back then, there were 15 people there, right? I think that first meeting may have led to a little misunderstanding among you all. A misunderstanding, are you saying?
In other words.
That's right, there weren't actually 15 of you.
Yes, indeed.
The total number of students taking part in this killing game was actually 16. 16, then...
Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in this school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her.
The 16th student, Murako Ikusaba. She's part of the school life, so the one making all the regulations is...
Why?
Why?
Huh?
Did you say something? Why are you telling us this? Oh, well, because... like I told you, this killing game is desperately popular. You wouldn't believe the ratings. And since we've got so many viewers now, I wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page. I don't want to wake up to a hurricane of complaints and hate mail, you know?
Yes, indeed.
Make sense?
Well now.
Okay, that's all you get for now. Oh, actually, I do have some revenge to get, so I have an extra bonus for you. Revenge? I want to get back at that sneaky Miss Kurigiri, so I'm gonna share a little secret with you. Seriously? You know how she wears those stupid gloves day in and day out all the time? Well, don't tell anyone I told you, but she wears them to cover up a bunch of hideous scars that she doesn't want anyone to see. What? Okay, now that's all you get. Kyoko wears those gloves to cover up a bunch of scars? Wait, so on the back of her hand, that tattoo. Wait, but no. Monokuma specifically said they were scars, right? So that's why she wears those gloves, to hide the scars, which means those fake nails on the corpse. Are you thinking about Kyoko again? Huh?
What?
Forget about her. What matters now is uncovering Monokuma's trap. His trap.
Such ignorance.
God must have really hated you to make you so dull. Don't you remember what Monokuma just told us? He said there were 16 students. He said there were 16 students, right? Which means Murokuro was a student.
That's right.
Obviously, Monokuma was trying to tell us that Murokuro is the one creating the rules to this game. But why would he be telling us that, and why now? He said he wanted to make things clear so there wouldn't be any complaints later. But the mere fact that he said that proves that Murokuro is connected to this case. That's why Monokuma revealed the existence of a 16th student. He needs to make our investigation fair. Murokuro is related to the
It's
case.
certainly possible.
Oh, oops. Perhaps she's the one who killed Kyoko. What? That would explain why we would have to have a class trial, wouldn't it? If she's a student and she killed someone, that would make her part of the school's killing game. Murokuro is the killer? She killed Kyoko? Anyone should be able to come to that conclusion, don't you think? In fact, that's exactly why I thought what I thought when the investigation first began. But based on what Monokuma just told us, I've changed my
It's
mind.
all clear now.
Murokuro Ikusabe isn't the culprit. Huh? What makes you say that? We thought Murokuro, the ultimate despair, was the mastermind's true identity. But if that's true, Monokuma's behavior makes no sense. Why would the mastermind go out of their way to reveal themselves to us? That's a good
So,
point.
in other words,
Murokuro gave us information that would raise questions about her, would be bold, to say the least. It makes more sense, then, to assume that Murokuro isn't the culprit. So, that's the trap? They want us to suspect Murokuro and come to the wrong conclusion? That's what makes sense to me. The way you say it, it definitely does seem possible. But if that's really true, if Murokuro isn't the killer, then who is? Well then, I believe our work here is finished. Let's move on. I'm sure there are other places that need investigating. I should find out if that key to the dojo and the dojo are really Arcanite. I should see if the key to the dojo I'm just
let's go.
make sure the key's related to the dojo. Well, are you coming? That one said 9 though, didn't it? Or maybe it was a 6. There are wooden lockers here. They use wood cone blocks, just like those super traditional public house bathrooms. It looks like the key we found in Kyoko's room really does go with one of these lockers.
I see.
Makoto, do you see the farthest to the right?
Very strange.
That's the only one that doesn't have a key in it at the moment. You understand what that means, right? I should probably use the key we found on that locker, right?
That's right.
Well, just try it. Okay. I took the wooden block key and inserted it into the metal locker slot thing. The locker eagerly accepted the key and opened. There are arrows in here. It looks like 10 arrows in total. Looks like they're made out of titanium, which means they're quite strong despite how thin they are. Of course, without a bow, they're nothing but strong little sticks. Strong sticks. Oh, there's something else inside the locker. It's all wadded up. It's a wadded up ball of duct tape. I wonder what this was used for. Is that a bloodstain?
I see.
If it is, that means it must surely be related to the case. This duct tape is related to the case somehow, but how could it possibly be? I think that's all this locker has to offer for now. Is something wrong?
Very strange.
It's very odd, don't you think? The locker was hiding items that were clearly related to the case. But how did the key to the locker wind up in the victim's room?
Why?
Or perhaps... Forget it. Come on. We need to continue on to the next location. Huh? What next location?
What?
There's still something we need to look into. We need to do more research on Fernerver. You mean the mercenary group that Murokuro was a part of? But how are we supposed to find out about that? Isn't it obvious? Where in the school would you go to do research on something? Are you talking about the archive? That's right, the archive has all kinds of information that the general public doesn't have access
Let's go.
to. We only have so much time before the class trial begins. Let's hurry. I believe there was a file related to FNIR somewhere over here. Byakuya seemed to know the archive like the back of his hand and went straight to the shelf in the back. Here we go. Quickly returned with a file in hand.
I see.
Take a look at this. Huh? I have no idea what it is. What language is this? How did you make it all the way to high school without learning a single word of French? I'm pretty sure most high schoolers can't speak French. Well, whatever. I'll read it to you, but I expect you to repay your debt 100 times over. 100 times? Isn't that kind of extreme? FNIR is an elite fighting unit based out of the Middle East. Unlike military contractors, they're a fierce group of soldiers who engage in direct combat. They claim that a single member is equivalent to an entire campaign of regular soldiers. Just like FNIR, the Wolf of Ragnarok, their mere presence is enough to strike fear into the enemy. They have been involved in countless military battles and operations, most of which are highly classified. However, some time ago, they completely ceased all activity. At present, their continued existence cannot be confirmed. There are unconfirmed reports that the key members of the group were all neutralized. Rumors indicate that they were killed to keep from revealing the many state secrets they acquired. Some, however, believe there was mounting internal tension within the group, and they simply imploded.
What?
What is it? It just sounds like some kind of alternate reality. Well, it is. This is our reality, and only reality. These people are part of our world. Their battlefields aren't much different from our lives here. An unpredictable, unimaginable world. That makes it all the more also exciting. Exciting definitely isn't the word I'd use. So, did anything jump out at you? This may be your last opportunity to learn about FNIR. Now that you mention it, the report said something about where the name FNIR comes from, right? That's right. It said FNIR is the Wolf of Ragnarok. Speaking of which, would you like to know something interesting related to that? To show that they're members of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing FNIR somewhere on their body. What? They got a tattoo of FNIR? Could that mean...
Time is utterly silent, and yet it constantly assaults us organisms, the Earth, natural phenomena. It damages us little by little until the end. You should really think about that. Anyway, it's time to begin the class trial. So, please meet up in the usual spot. See you later.
Then the time has come. All we can do now is try to uncover the truth during the class
That's
trial.
right.
It would seem that way. Let's go. Oh shit, here we go. Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you?
Huh?
What? Are you jealous?
Hey.
Or are you making up some creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself, but We stood there for 5 full minutes waiting for something weird to happen, and then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma showed up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here, or... Or what?
What?
Jesus! Yeah. Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh?
In other words,
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here now, can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting for 10 minutes now. So it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If we can all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look.
Hey.
I'm here, and no rules have been broken. Kyoko! Kyoko, you're still alive? No, that's a ghost. Stop talking. So, if you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulations did I violate? Am I wrong? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. It'll just be one step. I'll just be one step ahead of you. And when Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko, so you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God. I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps. But that's not nearly a good thing for us. Huh? He's right. Now we gotta deal with the ghost. I told you, stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on. Let's go. Just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do during the trial. Without even looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped onto the elevator. Master, wait for me. Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you, where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you?
Correct.
So, I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. And then when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down, just in time to hear the class trial announcement. It took some time to go over to the crime scene first. I couldn't go to the trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late?
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation,
It would seem...
because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her, that's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? I have no idea what the fuck is... Dude, this case... I have no idea who the fucking killer is. And the doors slid shut. Is it another suicide? This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, still and silent. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair. Oh, you changed up the room.
I can't wait!
Ah! I feel like I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed. Let's get on with the show! And so, the crucial opening for the 5th time. Yep, it's deadly, alright. Let's do it.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, if you can figure out who done it, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
Okay,
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Oh, dude, you're
But
retarded.
Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has, the body doesn't belonging to her. The gloves.
I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that the corpse was Kyoko, but if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I have no choice but to...
That Kyoko there is just a...
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion!
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's...
The dead body.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing...
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong. No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
And the one thing we can tell that can tell us was on the victim's own body.
If Kyoko really is still alive,
Okay.
then who died?
There's gotta be some... I don't think so. The face was scorched and there wasn't any description in the... Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we
How
can
did
do,
I not
right?
hit that? Really?
If Kyoko really...
Then who died? There's gotta be some... I don't think so. The face was scorched and there wasn't any description... Well, if we can't identify the body...
There we go.
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
What? Okay.
Seriously?
Okay.
They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to the other information we have, the victim's identity should be pretty clear. It's her profile, right? Because we added the part about the tattoo to it from...
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... It's a wolf. Are you gonna make me spell wolf?
Now I understand.
Oh,
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man! After all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? Now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Then who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Yep, based on what we know, there can only be two suspects, me and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects are me and Kyoko. Damn it! I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? When she went to go get the pickaxe.
Dude, we literally figured this out with Hiro. How does Hiro not remember?
I
He's
got
such an
it.
idiot.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Okay, I'm not reading this again.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10:30 p.m. and 9 a.m. or 10 p.m. 9 a.m. I don't have an alibi for 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Okay, then it looks like the game has begun. If I can't prove an alibi for that period, then I'll just have to prove the murder didn't happen during that time. I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden.
We've
Like, this
established a
has to do with
time frame
the
for the murder.
Because the
It
body
took place
wasn't
somewhere
wet.
between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah,
Okay,
from
yeah.
10 o'clock.
I have to shoot the 10 o'clock when he said
7:30.
10 o'clock because the sprinklers
That's more than
go
enough
off
time to commit murder, I
at
should think.
7:30.
So Makoto, if you
So
have any
it
objections,
it
now
had to
would
have
be the
happened
time.
between 7:30 and when we found the body. I got it.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
No, that's wrong. Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
The fuck?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
To prove that it wasn't the sprinkler that got the body wet. Do they not remember that I threw a bucket of water on the burning body? Oh, it's this fucking shit.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! How can you say it was—
This should prove it.
Gotcha, bitch.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko is the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Murakumo's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko, I say his name. Kyoko murdered someone?
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting.
The tarp.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Certain something that was used to cover the body. What could it have been?
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way that Kyoko said, the tarp must have been touched the body, right? But the body.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Tarp's perfectly clean on the other side. I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Remember the blood on the body hadn't dried yet. Byakuya even warned us not to touch it to avoid getting any blood on us.
By covering
so
the
it
body
would have
with
gotten
the tarp,
dirty.
the killer prevented it.
Okay.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty is because the sprinkler.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally
It's because that side was protected since it was facing down.
Of course it didn't get dirty!
No, that's wrong. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was
What
camouflage?
if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know!
From
They
the
could have
nurse.
grabbed some of the blood
Yeah.
packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time.
Oh, the chicken!
The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
The chicken! No!
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder,
Oops.
but after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back onto me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a...
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Yup, and they give me the knife. Of course it was your idea also to give me the knife.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
Couldn't be sure of exactly what happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Damn. Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer.
The knife...
It's this disguised body. Murder took place before the sprinklers turned on. The suspect covered the body with tarp to prevent it getting wet. Later, when they removed the tarp, this was to place the white jacket on the body. This jacket had been previously treated with blood to make it look like the corpse had been removed.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and...
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means the knife was thrust through the coat into the body. So, yeah.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
So, disguised dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that knife before, that seals it.
Just because I had that automatic?
Well,
Getting stabbed is
what killed...
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Sorry, I had to close my window.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. The Monokuma file.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Was it Toko? She's the one that went near the body, and she could have easily placed the bomb there and been fine.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but... what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, We saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Okay. That's a look weird.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
You need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. You need to concentrate. Didn't it say there was like a blow to the head? And then like other smaller scratches?
Then shall...
They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but those were at least several days old. Yeah.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Come on.
I guess.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't because of them. There's only one other.
Oh yeah! That's gotta be it! There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well,
Yeah?
she was already...
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other.
Oh yeah! According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it! There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Shoot!
Oh, I don't know what to do. Okay.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal...
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah. She was...
And it wasn't. Then there's.
Oh yeah! That's gotta be it! There was evidence that showed she was hit on the...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the victim's fatal injury has yet to...
No, that's wrong! Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh! I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if...
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Alright, well, if Hiro ever dies, I know it's you.
I feel the same way! Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know?
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon? The chicken.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was The titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
Don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master!
You have no
Oh,
right!
I think I know it.
The titanium arrow.
It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound.
They duct taped
Because it
a
said the
bunch of
weapon
them
must have been
together.
about as... It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Oh, come on.
Back to Master!
You have no right!
The titanium. It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound.
Well, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal... It seems like an arrow would just...
No, that's wrong. You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, as for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence. Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. Must be connected to the dojo locker. Maybe the key for the fucking locker in the dojo that we found in Kyoko's room.
The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the this all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. There's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me. Then does she mean... She knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be why? Which would mean that Kyoko killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
I mean, because he has her key so he can... Byakuya should know better than anyone. What does that mean?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Wait, Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you...
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof
That you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie? Does she really feel that threatened because she's the killer? Or is it that everyone else, was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will go unsolved forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid out for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko, but what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I do? Mastermind's trap. The victim was Murkuro, and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if the risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here, right now, whether or not to expose her lie. Run away. I don't know. I don't think run away. I think it's either just let it go or pursue the lie. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko is definitely lying, and it must be because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden.
I didn't have the key to my because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about
You are correct.
so I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the... I didn't have the because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt...
You are correct.
So I couldn't...
Possibly have gotten into my room.
Then...
No, that's wrong.
Why do I feel like I was supposed to let it go?
Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself. Didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time. But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't...
Wait, really? Good job! You got it right! Brilliantly right! We got it right? Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko.
Now then, I've prepared a very special... Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Sorry, I don't know why I skipped it. I feel like this is wrong. And that's how the class trial of Murukuro Ikasaba came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or regardless, the truth was lost forever, even to me. I just can't stop thinking about it. That was the end of Murokuro's class trial, and in the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that class trial was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak Academy ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Wait, what? What the fuck is going on? Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope, hope, hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Makoto, why are you staring off into...
Her claim? Oh, that's right. I have to... Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? Okay, I guess not. Okay. Let it go. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she could have killed someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap
Well,
that Kyoko must
does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
Okay,
It
buddy, you're
had to
putting
be
this on me
Makoto.
again.
I don't see any other option.
You were in the room with me, my dude. You think I'm that, like, fucking sleight of
Wait a
hand
second.
magician?
You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Okay, so I did it wrong, technically.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Oh man, that sucks. I guess that makes sense though, because we're starting. I just saw the flight information, but this isn't gonna make sense in like 2-3 weeks when you watch this, so never mind.
Hey, hold on! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials, and it's gonna end the same way.
Chills! Kills!
Wait, why do I... Kyoko,
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Wait, I'm really confused. What?
What?
Uh-huh? What was that? What's going on? Hey, what was that? Yeah, it had to be.
This
Alter ego? Alter ego? Is that some stupid virus from you guys? You must have planted it when you invaded my network. Damn it to hell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now. Got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you'll never see him again.
Yaha!
To waste away in garbage, strewn pit. In a way, it's an even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time.
Huh?
Huh?
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind's time. Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over all the buildings. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in... Why am I starting from the beginning of the game again? Huh? Where am I? Woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It was weird of me to zonk out in the middle of a boring class or whatever, but what was I doing sleeping here just now? What the heck is going on? That's really what I want to know. Finally, I could finally feel my mind and body start to get back together again, and then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell, because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must have been some kind of underground garbage pit. And a heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in here till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me, and he used up the little last bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now, for myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit for survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. Is this an airplane? How did something like this wind up in the school's garbage pit? This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. This is a rocket and a tank. I'd better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. It's locked. No matter how many times I push or pull or kicked at it, it won't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon. I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next time I searched for water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are all around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up just because I'm alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making the proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed, and all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign, not exactly. What the? That strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down here? Something fell from above? Could it have been... Did giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched out my hand towards whatever it was that had tumbled down here.
Just a second.
A piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of trash, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Kyoko!
Indeed.
You look better. You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick and sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then focused on me again. First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth. And making its way towards my stomach. Whew, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all that I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why did you come rescue me? To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew?
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a certain reason that I had to survive. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. Will you, though? The reason I had to survive...
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to do to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did once. Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? Then, is it really true?
Makoto.
You lost your memory? Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. Disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. And at that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I came to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what happened, what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think... I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability, somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
It could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind, which is why I have to get them back, which is why I have been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us.
Correct.
What? Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. And since it is a possibility, you can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However,
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind. I understand. I should understand everything.
My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Ugh. Just like that, the dream I had before. But why did that just happen?
listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey,
Even now, I trust you, you know? I'm just not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that in your investigation. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
so
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I finally was able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone else should know me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective.
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone. Who?
So
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad, is Hope's Peak Academy's headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I'll find the
no matter
headmaster.
what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on?
I
My memory hadn't come back at this point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However-
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear. There's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see then there?
so
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess. The desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. What do you mean? The mastermind,
it's
right?
true.
You mean the mastermind, right? That was my assumption, yes. And to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor dorms using the key I found. But why there? Because I also found the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's the layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Murakura's profile and the key. The map showed the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room in there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went
Correct.
to check. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered what my purpose was. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So, you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room in there?
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, The moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. I'm sure you'll get the chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. It's really anonymous.
However...
Of course. Okay. Which is why I had no choice, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Murako Ikosabe, isn't it? Doesn't it? Well, yeah.
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then, who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Murakuro was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole the key. I stole that key and disappeared. And in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimum restriction, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules. And with that rule in place, they can't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Murakuro Ikosaba. What's that? There was a point where Murakuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have been the victim.
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night? I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the God of Death? What? I can hear the God of Death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led them to... Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised. And with the dojo key... the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Murakuro is also the mastermind.
Indeed.
Right? I don't have a conclusive evidence, but that is what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to kill you because they couldn't interfere,
correct.
Right? You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Murakuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is contradiction. So what does that mean?
In other words...
It means the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. Just a little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The older ultimate despair. There's no doubt that Murakuro is the ultimate despair, that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking
That's
about
right.
What happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy whoever is responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair? That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're, make no mistake, they're the root of evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. That is our real enemy. Damn. The ultimate despair, a group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. The same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now...
Anyway...
Right. Now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come later. You're right. Alright. And that is where we're gonna end this video. Shit is going down. And in a good way. Well, I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.